In this lab, we turn a complex problem to a second-order differential equation, with a single input, which is the angular displacement made at the base of the beam, and the output, which is the deflection of the beam. To determine the response of the system, we measured the system at specific frequencies and then at random vibrations for the motor to move, and used MATLAB and Kwanzaa to get the data needed to find the magnitudes and phase angles.
To start off with the lab, we began by calibrating the deflecting beam. This lab was then split into two main parts, finding motor angle and beam deflection from both specific frequencies and using random vibrations. We recorded the data using Simulink, which was able to record the motor angle by reading the encoder and recording the beam deflection by measuring the strain gauge. For the specific frequencies portion, we were given set frequencies and amplitude, while for the random vibrations, we changed the seed number after each run.
For part 1 of the results, we look at the plot of the motor angle and beam deflection versus time as seen on the left to find the steady state amplitude for the motor angle and beam deflection. With these known, we can calculate the amplitude ratio and the phase angle for each test. The result of each calculation is pictured on the right.
In the second part of this lab, we use random vibrations in order to find the motor angle and beam deflection. The graph on the left shows the motor angle and beam deflection versus time. The graph in the middle shows the amplitude ratio and phase angle versus the frequency. The graph on the far right shows amplitude and phase angle versus frequency, but instead the amplitude is logged and the phase angle is semi-logged. Finally, the last graph shows amplitude and phase angle with relation to the correct trend. As is seen in the amplitude ratio, the trend holds up until around 150 rads per second. For our phase angle, we were not able to get it to follow the correct trend due to possible error on our end.